Hi everyone, my name is Sophie and I am from Gradcracker. So today in this video, I'm going to be giving you a brief introduction to Gradcracker, who we are, what we do, the website, the features that we've built for you and how you can secure that ideal placement role. So to kick things off, if you're not already familiar with Gradcracker, then we are the UK's careers website for STEM students. So that stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths. And we work with hundreds of employers every single year to advertise their undergraduate placement opportunities, whether that's insight events, summer internships, year-long placements, and also their graduate roles. I work with a number of the employers that advertise on Gradcracker, so I really get to understand their needs every year. So some of that I'm going to be passing on to you guys today. But also within Gradcracker, we give you lots and lots of areas to help you research employers and also to keep organised throughout the recruitment process. In short, Gradcracker is where the STEM jobs are, and we have more employers, more opportunities on Gradcracker than any other careers website in the UK. So if you are looking for that placement opportunity and graduate role when you get to the end of your university degree, we have everything that you need to support you all the way through that journey. So what I'm going to start with is by just talking about some of the benefits of doing a placement opportunity. Now, you might see these called internships, placements, work experience. They all mean the same thing. And just to let you know that on Gradcracker, any placement or internship that you see advertised will be a paid opportunity. We don't advertise any unpaid roles. So why should you do a placement? There's lots and lots of different reasons. Some are benefits for you guys and some are benefits for the employers. And one of the main ones for you is that it gives you an opportunity to really test drive your career. So you can really understand whether that particular employer, that particular sector is going to be right for you. It also allows you to work in a business setting. Now, many of you might not have been able to do that before joining your degree. So it could be the first time that you've actually, worked in an office environment and got to know what it's like to work a 9-to-5 job and interact with people in that sort of way. So there's so many benefits of getting that out of it. Now, each week on Gradcracker, we run a webinar with a employer on the advertisers with us. Now, what we found throughout these webinars is that so many of the students who have done a placement, it's really guided their career choices. So whether they then decide to stay with that particular employer and rejoin as a graduate, or whether it taught them that wasn't quite the right career for them and they've gone into a slightly different route. But all of them agree that it really does help you figure out where you want to go. So that's a really, really good reason for you guys. Another one is that some employers will offer fast track from a placement or an internship onto their graduate scheme. So potentially you could do a summer internship or a year-long placement and then end up back with that employer after you've graduated with your offer already ready to go as soon as you go into your final year of uni. So that takes a huge amount of stress out of your final year of university. So you're not having to worry about applying to jobs. You've already got that graduate program secured and you can really just focus on your studies in the final year. Another massive benefit is the fact that there's some research that suggests that by doing an internship or placement, students actually perform better academically when they return to university. And this could be for a number of reasons, but a main one will be that you can actually see the real world applications of your STEM degree by using that in a day-to-day working environment. So when you come back to university, you've maybe got a bit of a wider view of your degree discipline. So it might help you academically when you come back to those studies as well. So that's just another benefit of doing a placement opportunity. If you don't manage to secure a year-long placement or a summer internship, it is not the end of the world. A lot of employers don't specify that you need that experience, but it does help give you a leg up when you are applying to different companies. Even if you don't go back to the same employer after you've done your internship, it will make you automatically more employable to other recruiters. And this is because it shows that you've worked in that business setting. You've obviously put yourself out there and tried to get that work experience whilst you're at university. So it's a good idea to try and secure work experience where you can. Now, what you'll also see on Gradcracker is something that we call insight events. So these could be a one-day event with an employer, it could be a week-long event with an employer. So they are also really valuable to get that experience if you don't secure a summer internship or you're in industry. The insight events are really, really useful. And a lot of the industries that offer the insight events might be industries that you haven't really considered. So it could be law, for example, or banking or finance or intellectual property. So careers that you might not automatically think would be related to a STEM degree will offer these sort of insight days where you can go and really understand how your STEM skills are going to be applicable to that particular industry. So do check out that search on Gradcracker as well. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you onto the Gradcracker website. I'm going to show you briefly around the searches, how they all work, and then we're going to have a look at researching companies on Gradcracker before I go on to talking to you about the features that we've built for you. So let me just get the screen share up. So when you land onto the homepage of Gradcracker, straight away we show you the number of live employers and placement and graduate opportunities that we have live right now. Now this fluctuates throughout the year, but there's always loads and loads of opportunities throughout the year on Gradcracker. Now the latest scroll bar at the top, this is something that we have implemented to make sure that we're always showing you new opportunities and new employers that are joining Gradcracker. I would always highly recommend that the first thing you do when you come onto the website is have a scan down the homepage, because that will tell you anything that new that is happening. So we've got the latest scroll bar, then we've got our latest webinar. So for example, we'll be talking to BAE Systems. And then we've also got the latest graduate jobs and work placements at the bottom as well. So it's always a good idea to have a scan down, especially if you haven't been on the site for a week or so, because we do get jobs and employers going live virtually every single day. So that's just a good idea. What I'm going to do is I'm now going to go into one of our kind of 8 key disciplines to have a look at the roles within there. Any advice I give for a particular discipline will be applicable pretty much to all STEM disciplines. And every search on Gradcracker has a number of different drop downs. So I'm going to go into science and maths because there's quite a broad range of disciplines covered within here. And every discipline group that we have, so whether it's electrical, mechanical, civil, will have a number of different options to narrow that search down within the website. So you can see here under science and maths, we've got physics, pharmacology, biomed, lots and lots of different options for you to narrow that search down to something that if you're looking for something very, very specific. And then we can break the search down by graduate jobs or placements and internships. So we'll have a look at internships in this case. And this now brings us all the employers that are currently recruiting from that background. Now, what we do with our search is we make sure that we are giving you fresh information every single day. There are so many employers that want to recruit from your STEM discipline, no matter what you are studying. There's probably more options out there than you'd ever really understand. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is presenting you with new employers and new opportunities every single time you come onto this search facility. So just to kind of reiterate that point, I'm going to have just a quick scroll down the search page to show you the industries that are open to just this one discipline group. So STFC is a research facility, do all sorts of things that go way over my head, but that's a very, very broad organisation and do some really cutting edge science. Intel, I'm sure you're all familiar with, obviously computing, semiconductors, things like that. G Research is really interesting, so they work with financial markets and financial market modelling and things like that. Renishaw is a mechanical measurement company, so again quite a different type of organisation. Capital One, credit cards. BAE Systems is defence and aerospace. Edwards is vacuum technology, and PwC is professional services. So that's just even one scroll on the Gradcracker search of the number of different types of industries that are looking for people with a science maths background. So I would always recommend, again, have a really good look through this search, because there'll be so many opportunities that you won't have really considered. What you can also see on the placement and internship search is you can look by duration. So as I mentioned, summer, year long, and then those insight events as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the Science and Technologies Facilities Council. And what we'll do now is we have now landed in the STFC, which is what they're called for short, company hub on Gradcracker. Every employer that you see on Gradcracker will have one of these areas to showcase who they are and what they do to you. And this is also where we find the job descriptions. Now, this area of Gradcracker is probably one of the most important that you're going to come across. This is where the employer is telling you what you need to know to be able to apply to their vacancy. And we'll also give you an overview on the right-hand side of the type of key important information that you might want to know. So when's the role closing? What's the salary? A lot of employers won't show salary, and that doesn't mean that it's a poor salary. It just means that perhaps they don't want competitors in their industry to know what they're paying their students and graduates. So don't be put off by that. Every employer on Gradcracker will be paying way above minimum wage for their placement opportunities, internships, and their graduate roles. So if it says competitive, it doesn't mean it's a bad salary. It also tells you whether you need a 2-1, a third, a first to be able to apply to the role. So STFC, for example, are open to all grades, and then the duration of the opportunity and where you're going to be based. So that might be a kind of the first place that you look to say, right, is that going to be right for me? Is it the right length? Things like that. Can I actually apply? Do I have the right grade? Before you go any further. And then the left-hand side is the job description, which is going to tell you what you need to know to be able to apply. So in order to be able to apply for this role, you must have. So they've laid this out very clearly, whereas in other job descriptions, it might just say what you'll need, qualifications, what we're looking for, and it might not be laid out quite as simply as this, but that's the area that you're looking for. This is telling you what you need to be able to apply. So you can see enrolled in a physical science or engineering undergrad degree, numerically literate with experience in data analysis. So have you done that as part of your course? And obviously you need to be in full-time education at university. And then they also pop in some desirable. So if you have these kind of additional skills that they've said that they're looking for, it's a great idea to mention that in your covering and CV letter. And then you apply to the employer straight from there. So all of your applications go directly to the company. We are the area where you can find the vacancies and do all of your research. Now, when it comes to researching, the company hubs are integral to that. This is why we've built them in this way. We've created them so that you can go on and you can find out everything that you need to know to make an informed decision as to whether this employer is right for you. So obviously the vacancy is going to have a big impact on that. Is that placement opportunity going to be right for you? And then does the employer also kind of fit with where you want to work? Is it in the right sector? What do people say about working there? So you can see like our people profiles of students and grads and more senior people as well within the organisation about their career journeys. We've also recently done a webinar with STFC, so I would highly recommend watching this. This is us talking to one of the recruiters at STFC and placement and grad students about their experiences. So that's a great place to do some research as well. So if we've done a webinar with an employer, it will always say that at the top on their hub menu. But there's also lots of other different information you can find on the company hub. So these are the best places to start thinking about whether the employer is right for you. And you can go and have a look at the job and then do all of your research, then go back and click the apply link and go through the recruitment process with that particular employer. But what I would suggest as well is now just kind of looking at the features that Gradcracker's built to help support you when you do put those applications through is there's lots of things that we can do. For example, we can save a job to a shortlist. If we do this, then it saves that job to an online list. I'll get myself logged in now so I can show you all of that. I knew that was going to come up wrong. So I've saved this particular role to my shortlist now. If I go into my area, so if you register on Gradcracker, which I highly recommend that you do, that gives you access to these particular section. So your shortlist, you can follow companies, which I'll explain in a bit more detail. And then you can log into this area, which we call the student dashboard. And you can see all these jobs that I have saved to refer back to later. So if, for example, this role comes down from Gradcracker and isn't available on their site or on our site anymore, as long as you've saved it, you can always refer back to that job description there. That'll help you when you go through the interview process and things like that. So the shortlist is really, really important. And we know that you're going to be applying to a number of different placement and internship roles. So you can also track yourself through the process. So whether you've got assessment centre, got to interview, and then fingers crossed at the end when you've got your offer. What you can also do is, if you are, say, just in the researching stages now, so say you're in your first year of university thinking about doing a placement, you can start following companies. So I am going to go back to the employer hubs and follow Abaco. Now, this means that now I am going to be alerted anytime they add new vacancies. So whether that's a placement, an internship, or a graduate job, to keep me up to date with anything that those guys are doing. So if you're just researching, that's a really, really useful feature for you. So just jumping back into the dashboard, there's also where you can see which webinars you've registered for, recent alerts from employers that you're following. We also tell you about the latest employers that have joined the site that will be recruiting from your discipline. So it's a really good organisational tool within the dashboard area. Now, finally, what I'm going to show you is another area that we have built specifically to help our student audience, and this is the Gradcracker Career Centre. And this is where we house all of our careers content, making sure that you, as well as having all the information you need about the employer and the vacancy and being able to do all your research, we can then give you that additional support about how to put those applications together. So the webinars I've mentioned a few times, we have these running between September and May every year, and they are weekly, Thursday at 2 o'clock. And we've had some amazing companies so far. So you can always go back and re-watch some of the webinars that we've done. So people like CERN, Babcock, BT, to really get an understanding of those organisations. And then you can register for upcoming webinars as well. Also within this area, we have the e-version of our Gradcracker toolkit. So this is a fantastic place to really start thinking about what sector and what industry you might want to work in. So we produce this every single year in collaboration with employers on Gradcracker. And we talk about the features of Gradcracker that we've built, and then also looking at some of the employers in more detail. So I'll flick to our sector sponsorship area. And within that area, we have employers that have sponsored all of these different areas, talking about those particular sectors and what type of degree disciplines you need to be able to work there, and what it involves working in that particular industry. So this is an absolutely fantastic place to do some research. And then our career coach section, this is going to be integral to you guys. So this is where you can see lots of content that's come either direct from our employers. So talking about, going into different industries, and then we can also look at application processes, how to write your CV and covering letter. Really everything you need to know about putting a good application in will be within this particular area of the Gradcracker Career Centre. Also, my colleague Hannah has written a lot of blogs to help you understand lots of different areas of Gradcracker as well. So we've kind of broken a lot of the employer advice down and given you a bit of a summary in our ebook, How to Become an Alpha Candidate. We've also written guides to using our company hubs to your best advantage, utilising information in the job descriptions, how our webinars will help you to stand out during the application process. There's so much information in this area, so this is a great place for you to find out more. And then finally, we have our toolkit, which we've also recorded as a podcast. So however you want to kind of digest that content, we've got that there ready for you. So that is kind of a really, really quick whistle-stop tour through Gradcracker and how we can help you secure that placement opportunity. So I wish you all the best of luck with your applications. Make sure you get registered on Gradcracker. Also, don't forget, we do have an app where you can receive push notifications about your favourite employers too. So make sure you get yourselves organised with Gradcracker, and then good luck with all of your applications. Thank you.